guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room, hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation. All right, so Shannon Sharpe has another interview. Well, I'm actually going to call it a conversation with some questions being asked. And this one is definitely going to go viral. I don't know if it's going to top Kevin Hart's, but it definitely will be a close second, in my personal opinion, when it comes to conversations that he's had with someone on his platform. Because just like Cat Williams, Monique isn't saying a whole lot of things that nobody has heard before, because the truth of the matter is, a number of things that Cat Williams has said, people have heard him say before, but he just had the opportunity to sit down and do it for almost 3 hours, you know what I mean, in one sitting, no filter, no holds barred, going off on either situations or people that he has issues with, his experiences, right? And Monique the same, because for years she has been calling out Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, even though we know Lee Daniels has officially and finally apologized to her and in public, and I can do nothing but respect him for doing so. I'm not going to sit here and judge whether it was genuine or not, or, you know, what the motives were for doing so, but he did it. And it's more than we can say for Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey. But listen, I wanted to talk about a couple of things when it comes to the things that she shared, because even though she has talked about Oprah Winfrey before, called out Oprah Winfrey for a number of deceitful, devious things that she has done, and in my personal opinion, the most devious being her bringing Monique's family on her talk show that she had at the time, when Monique told her of the issues that she has had with her family. And Oprah said she would not do that, and she still did it.
They don't know. They don't understand what them saying "I'm sorry" will mean for them. See, when I read the
because that's not for you. And I'm sorry is not for the person that you offended. It's for you, because currently you're in hostage, your feelings, because you have to live with that.
You gotta live with that.
What you've done.
So when you see a woman say, "Me turning 70, I'm so happy because I've never hurt anyone," stop it. Stop it. Because there's a black woman that has been calling your name for over a decade that you seem to want to make go away. And I know I'm not the only one.
Would you sit, if Oprah called Mo today, would you sit down and have a conversation with her?
Let me tell you what I'll do if Oprah called me today, Shannon Sharpe. We will sit down and have a conversation with Oprah Winfrey. We will sit down and have a conversation with Tyler Perry. We will sit down and have a conversation with the presidents of Lionsgate. We will sit down and have a conversation with anyone that is, I'm going to say, brave enough to sit down and have a conversation. But what happens is within seconds, if Tyler Perry was to sit right here, you would say, "Man, I heard you. What you trying to tell me about this sister?" Within seconds, Oprah Winfrey would know that people would say, "Hold up." See, when I speak about Oprah Winfrey, and let me be clear, I love that sister because she's our sister. Mm-hmm. She just got to come back across the street. We got the light on. When I speak about Oprah Winfrey, I speak about that woman because she's spoken about me. And when you begin to speak about me privately, I'm going to speak about you publicly. You've been unfair. You've been unjust. And you watched a black woman be thrown under the bus, and you said nothing. And here's what's interesting as well. My husband was saying to me, after I won the Oscar award, right? Mm-hmm. And she had the people come, to talk to the Oscar winners. And I go on the stage and I talk to the Oscar winners. Well, when we go to a commercial, the people in the audience, and I say this humbly, as my husband was telling me, he said, "Mama, they wasn't screaming Oprah. They were screaming Monique." Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
So much so, I had to say, y'all gonna shut that shit up now. We get ready to go back on the air. We having fun, right? He said, but I watched Oprah. He said, and I watched her almost turn in her seat like they screaming her name. Now, some people will say, oh, Monique, you're reaching. Well, let me tell you what then happens. The movie The Butler, that movie was offered to me. Lee Daniels came out and said, I did offer Monique The Butler. But as he said to me, he said, Mo, at the time I didn't have no power and I didn't have no money. So when Oprah said she wanted it, so who played the lead role in The Butler? Oprah Winfrey. Lee Daniels was getting ready to do a biopic on Richard Pryor, and he offered me the grandmother. Who then calls Lee Daniels and says, I want to be the grandmother. So, as you're looking at me, it's the same way I'm looking at that sister. And I'm saying, why don't we sit down and have a conversation? Because the way things could look, it may not be that way, but just the way things look, Oprah. Just the way you would have my family on your show, Oprah.
One might say, Mo, well, I mean, if the role that they're looking for a black,
Big, go ahead and say it. Shannon's so careful with his words. He want to say fat black woman. If the role looking for a fat black woman, Mo, but he was like, you know.
But I want to keep my podcast, Mo. Y'all ain't finna cancel me.
This why we love you, Uncle Shay Shay, because we want you to say it, a fat black woman. Now, me and Oprah fit the damn description, Shay. Fat black. Don't we fit it?
You do. But I'll be right back in the bed. I'll be your neighbor up there where you live at.
Listen here. So, are you lying?
No.
Now, I'm not going to have your big ass sitting here in the Hall of Fame and you scared to say shit.
Okay.
And I want to excuse myself for any of the babies that might be watching this, because I wasn't going to say no spicy things. But Shay Shay get me wrong now. Come on, Shay.
One might say, or people might say, well, Mo, I mean, the role calls for a heavyset black woman. You, Oprah, y'all fit the roles.
Yes.
How do we know that she wasn't offered the role along and people think that she's better, more qualified than you?
It don't work like that, Shannon. You can't offer me. Once you say, I want you.
Right.
That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't have the money to fund a production.
Right.
I don't have the connections to go to the studio and say, listen, I want to do this movie. She does. Right. So when Lee says, hey, baby, she got the money, go get it. But someone would just say, how is that working out like that? How is that happening like that? How is it that things that was offered to Monique, you seem to be playing? No, I told Oprah about that. See, everything we're saying to you right now.
You was having a conversation with her.
Listen here. I don't play the behind the back. I don't play the I'ma share with Shannon. There's one thing I will share with you that I've not shared with anybody.
Okay.
But I don't play the behind the back and all of that. I say, listen, let me try to get to you first. Now, if you avoid me, okay. But I tried to be respectful. I tried to call you first. When she had my family on her show, I tried to call you first. I tried to talk to you privately, but then you became the great, mighty Oprah Winfrey, and you were too busy to talk. Well, now I'm going to talk about it. This woman has overstepped with me in so many ways that somebody would say, if we wasn't Monique and Oprah Winfrey in the entertainment business, and we was Monique and Oprah Winfrey that worked at Costco, I see you in the break room. I see you at your cash register. Because she's overstepped.
All right. I'm going to pause it right there. That was just a portion of some things that she had to say about Oprah. Now, before I get into Oprah, I want to... I just honestly just want to confirm what most of us already know about Kevin Hart. He's a sellout. And she mentioned him in this conversation that she had with Shannon Sharpe about some things that he had to say about her. And when she confronted him about it, oh, it's just a misunderstanding. We're going to talk. I'm going to be right back with you. She said, it's been 2 years since that little quick convo, and she hasn't heard from him since. And I believe her. And not just because she actually shared how he helped her and her family financially. while she was going through the situation of being blackballed in the industry and not being able to really work and earn the type of money that she was used to earning to afford the lifestyle that she had become accustomed to living. So not just because of that, she said, I appreciate him for it. I will never forget that he did that. And I will never take that from him. But the truth of the matter is, the more truths, shall we say, what he did to help was the truth, but him pretty much ghosting me and talking about me behind my back because it wasn't conducive to the people that he needed to appease so that he could keep living the life that he was living. He is a sellout. And that's why all of this stuff about him suing Tasha K and my image and the things that she's said, and I just don't believe him. I just don't believe that anybody on her team or her tried to extort him to stop the interview that she did with his assistant, which honestly didn't really get much traction. He brought more attention to it than it was even getting. And even after the lawsuit, it's still that on her app, that video interview still does not have more traction on it than the interview that she most recently did with Martell Holt. People are still commenting on that. Nobody cares about Kevin Hart. He cares more about himself than he does. But anybody that would cheat on their 9 months, 8 months pregnant wife and be probably doing substances and all of that stuff and recording it and then lie and try to put it off on your ex-best friend to say that he set it up and he tried to extort you and all this other stuff. I don't believe much of what he has to say. So I definitely believe Monique. But listening to the things that she said about Oprah in this interview, like I said, not a lot of it was new, but it definitely was more things that she expounded on when it came to the conversation that she had about Oprah. All I was hearing in my spirit, guys, about Oprah is the J word, one that is very overused, just like the word narcissist is overused because not everyone is a narcissist, okay? But jealous. And the J word, that word is one that's definitely overused because if somebody, say for example, someone like myself, if I'm giving commentary about someone and I'm talking about some situations or whatever, and then someone wants to make a comment and say, oh, you're just jealous because it's like, what would make you think that I'm jealous of them? Not everybody is jealous of everyone because they have a comment that isn't favorable or low-key worshiping a person, because I'm one of those people. I'm not in anybody's fan club. I may admire people, I may respect some people or whatever, but I am no one's fan. Nobody. Because that stuff, it just really goes to a fine line of idol worship. And I don't even really believe that some people recognize that they have already crossed that line. But it's not for me to call it out. I'm going to leave that between you and God, because God said he'll, have no time for anyone that has any gods before him. So all those people that want to fangirl or fanboy or stand over people that piss and poop just like you, then so be it. But when I was listening to her talk about Oprah, to some people it may seem crazy and it may not make sense to say, well, why would Oprah be jealous of Monique? I've talked about this before, and I've even been through situations like this, and I may have mentioned it before, where it's like you are in a situation where good things are happening for you, and you're around someone and you know someone, you know this person, or you think you know them, shall we say, and you're around this person and you can feel the heat and the energy coming off of them, and you don't want to believe it, but it's real, that they actually are experiencing this jealousy spirit and envy. I don't believe that people are jealous, but I believe people embody jealous spirits, envious spirits. It is something that you have to recognize it's there, and you have to do what you have to do to rid yourself of it. And if you don't, then it grows and grows, and it's extremely dangerous. And the Bible even says how God says jealousy goes deeper than the grave. You have to really be careful with jealousy, because jealousy can drive people to commit crimes, even taking people out, taking their lives, like literally. Jealousy is one of those spirits that you have to recognize it's there, and you have to do what you have to do to rid yourself of it. Or you're going to be like Oprah, and you have all of this power where you can do things and say things to hold someone back and block someone's blessings, because you are experiencing that spirit of jealousy against someone that is just living their life and good things are happening for them right now. Oprah may be listed as a billionaire, but think about it. She pretty much has the world as her oyster because of the power and the money and the access that she has. Why does she keep doing all of these projects with acting and these films and things like that? Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting to do things for fun or for sport, or it's something you enjoy, because everything isn't about the money, right? For everyone. Not for everyone, I should say. But think about it. Monique won that Oscar. Has Oprah ever won an Oscar? She probably was looking at Monique like, who does this chick think she is? And when Monique talked about the look that her husband said that Oprah had on her face when all of these people were cheering for her and saying, Monique, 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 Monique. I'm quite sure that jealousy spirit that Oprah was and probably still is embodying, it was doing something deep within her that she just was not really knowing how to handle. And instead of getting rid of it and saying, you know what, this is my sister, I love her, I support her. No, she did things that were devious to bring this woman down. And I definitely never really looked at it in that way. I just really was looking at it in a way of, this is a woman that just, for whatever reason, doesn't like Monique, was just being selfish, looking out for herself. But it stemmed from the spirit of jealousy. And that explains so much more now when it comes to Oprah. And a lot of people may not agree with it because they may just look at the surface level of it. I don't care if someone has more money, power, and access. It doesn't mean that the person who doesn't compare in those departments doesn't embody something that person wants to have, wants to acquire, and they're jealous of it. And also in a way of, feeling above that other person, feel like that other person doesn't really deserve. Because I'm Oprah. I'm Oprah Winfrey. Why would Monique get an Oscar before I would? I'm Oprah. Why was this part that Lee Daniels created offered to Monique? I'm Oprah. Why would this other part that Lee Daniels created be offered to Monique? I'm Oprah. Listen, that woman embodied the spirit of jealousy. I never really looked at it in that way. I just never really looked too deep into it. I just believed Monique, and I believed that Oprah was wrong, and I did not respect her for those things, especially when it came to bringing her family onto her show. After she won the Oscar, try and tell me that Oprah didn't embody the spirit of jealousy against Monique, and that's why she did a lot of the things that she did. And I will say that I respectfully disagree. You have the right to your opinions, but I'm sticking with mine. So I definitely see it more so now that woman was jealous of Monique. And that's why she did a lot of the things that she did. And it explains even so much more now. The interview was long. I and my husband, we watched probably about the first hour of it. And it was like, man, maybe we'll catch the rest of it later. It's a lot. I did not watch the entirety of it, but I watched enough of it so far. I'm going to try to catch the rest of it later. But guys, let me know what you think about what Monique had to share about Oprah and Kevin Hart. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section respectfully. Thank you guys so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.
Wonder if we maybe were mistaken. Don't wanna talk, don't wanna see, don't wanna feel.